is the crown.
Welcome back to another I Am Heavy Cash with your boy Don Heavy, represent for the NY and the Shy. We're going to jump right into it today. It's Thursday, March 3rd. Happy early March, everybody. I hope the weather's doing great where you are. You know, the whole global warming thing that Leo spoke about during the Oscars. If you believe it or not, it definitely is warmer around some parts of the world where it would normally be cold at this time of the year. But whatever. We're not here to talk about global warming. We're not here to talk about the globe. We're here to talk about the money. That's what we're on I Am Heavy Cash for. Talk about the money. And today, Don Heavy is going to discuss mergers and acquisitions. Let's say it again for the people. Mergers and acquisitions. Acquisitions. Okay, so now, what exactly is a merger? Now, a merger is two or more companies that get together to combine their forces, or like on the stock landscape, on the investing landscape, they say combine synergies. Okay, now what is an acquisition? An acquisition is when a company outright purchases another company and uses it as a stepping stool in toilet paper. No, actually they use it as a subsidiary, so they get a portion of the profits because they have control. The purchasing company has controlling interest in the acquired company. Now, a lot of companies we know are products of mergers and acquisitions. Tide is a subsidiary. Dove. It's a lot of companies that we use day in and day out that are subsidiaries of other companies. Does that mean they're broke? No, that doesn't mean they're broke. That means a bigger company saw potential in them, took some interest in them. I'm assuming, and we'll get to why I'm assuming. I'm assuming that they like their books at some point or another, like the way their numbers ran down, like their accounting methods, and they chose to buy the company for X amount of money. That company still operates on its own, but it has to share profits, and sometimes the controlling company, the parent company, just is like, yo, you know, you need to cut a couple people. We need more profits. We need higher earnings coming from these guys. We need higher returns coming from you. What are you going to do about this? So that's just to paint a better picture for all the people out there of exactly what mergers and acquisitions are, or the product of mergers and acquisitions. Now, Don Heavy loves mergers and acquisitions simply because of all the money that is thrown around. It just isn't a new car or a new crib or something small like that. No disrespect to people that's buying new cars and new cribs. I'm not calling your purchases small. I'm just saying that these are companies that are being bought. What do you get when you buy a company? Well, I get people. Okay, I get a lot of paperwork because each person, I'm sure, has some type of paperwork to fill out and to report and submit. So I get a lot of people and a lot of paperwork. I get a lot of buildings, and that equates to more people. I get a boatload of ideas and intellectual property and more people. And last but certainly not least, the most important, I get profits. Part of the profits of that company that I just purchased, and more people. Hopefully the people that make those profits happen. Now, it's not all fun and games, and it's not all sunshine. Not all mergers and acquisitions are good. Just like an investment, just like a bad investment, some mergers end terribly, and the stock market is riddled with such dealings. Some companies just merge or purchase another company, and it seems like they never ever checked the books. Everybody remembers AOL? Yeah, with Time Warner Cable and AOL, they got together. That was terrible. And any company that did business with WorldCom, and if you are familiar, if you're a little older, then you know exactly who WorldCom is. Yes, or what WorldCom is, or what they pretended to be. With the faulty accounting, yeah, WorldCom was buying companies. Just to give you a better picture of what's happening with WorldCom. WorldCom was buying companies and giving them stock that was not worth what they said it was worth. They had faulty accounting methods. They, as in WorldCom, they were trading stock because of, quote unquote, how valuable the company was. They were trading stock instead of giving cash. And in some cases, when you give a company cash, or stock, I should say, when you give a company stock as a trade-off, like you're going to give me equity, you're going to give me ownership, and as a payment, I'm going to give you stock in my company, that's good because stock is liquid and it continues moving. That's why stock is so important. It holds value and it just continues gaining value. But the trick is it can also lose value or not be as valuable as it is deemed to be by all the professionals. So WorldCom did a lot of people dirty by trading equity with them for controlling interest in that company, and a lot of people were victims of faulty accounting, and WorldCom is not around us anymore because they suck. To make matters even worse, when you put billions up for a company, that is just gut-wrenching. That's like bow, bow in the stomach. Like, that's like buying a Bentley, driving it for like 8 months, you stunting on them, trying to go fast on the highway and all that. Then you look under the hood and you find out you got a Volvo engine. There's nothing good about that. That's not entertaining. It's not a joke. It's no laughs coming from that. It's serious. Someone's gonna pay. Heads will roll. That's my song, by the way. If you like that type of music, like techno music, I think it's called techno. I think it would be considered techno. Heads will roll. Heads will roll. Heads will roll. Heads will roll. On the floor. Yeah, that's a pretty cool song. I like that. I like that song. I don't exactly know what it means, but it just fit this occasion. If I bought a Bentley and Don Heavy bought a Bentley and found out a day later, a second later, that it was a Volvo engine inside that Bentley, heads would roll. Point blank. Now, back to mergers and acquisitions. Some mergers and acquisitions are against the law. What does that mean? So in the public markets, you have to get approved because you can't have a company controlling prices. At least that's what they say. DJ Khaled told us about they. So be careful what they say. But what that means is if I have a bubblegum company and you have the second biggest bubblegum company and we get together, I buy you, now I control all the bubblegum in the world. That is said to be illegal because if I control the bubblegum in the world, now I control the price of bubblegum. Nobody can battle with me. Before, when we were two separate companies, when you had bubblegum, I had to make it a certain amount because no matter how good my bubblegum was, if I priced it too high, you would get the rest of the market share because everybody's gonna be like, I don't want to pay $100 for bubblegum. I'd rather pay 50 cents for bubblegum. But now, if I buy you and I control all the bubblegum, guess what? I can charge $100 for bubblegum. Doesn't mean people are gonna buy it, but I control the price for bubblegum, and there's no one to contest that. So, some mergers and acquisitions are deemed to be illegal, but it's what they say, and it's what the SEC says, and not all times are they all thought to be illegal. Sometimes, normally it goes with the number one and number two, but sometimes there's loopholes around that. It depends on market cap and industry and things like that. So there's a lot of things that go into what is deemed to be illegal on the acquisition and merger side. So watch out for they. That's why you got to watch out for they. You got to read the book of they. I don't know if they got a book of they yet, but if they do, you definitely need to read that because it'll teach you a lot about they. Why does Don Heavy love mergers and acquisitions? Well, most importantly, because they represent the money. But to focus in on exactly what they represent, mergers and acquisitions represent heavy cash. All right? It's all about the heavy cash. Now, what I mean is, you can't pay $1 when you're merging or when you're acquiring a company. You can't just pay $1. You got to pay hundreds of millions, sometimes billions, sometimes 50, 60, upward billions. You have to pay guap, though. We talking about real fetty here. It's heavy cash. And it goes to show you that the same things that happen on a small scale happen on a larger scale, okay? When mistakes are made, it doesn't matter if it's $100 or $1 billion. Mistakes cost money. But when you hit it, and you hit it right, because when you do the homie, you got to pause. But when you do the acquisition, you got to do it right. When you hit it and hit it right, heavy cash falls upon us, and we live in the land called the Mecca of money. And that's what it's all about. It's all about becoming free, making the right decisions, controlling the landscape, viewing the landscape, first of all, seeing what's out there, seeing what's best, seeing what helps the people and what helps life improve and go forward, and making the right decision and getting the money. If we were in it for a different reason, then please inform me. But as far as Don Heavy's concerned, we are all in it to make a way and to make sure that our family and friends are cool. Now, maybe not your friends, but maybe just your family. However you deem it, however you view it, whatever your perspective is like, we're here to make the money and keep it going. So that's why Don Heavy loves mergers and acquisitions, because it propels society. Now, in today's market, it's a lot of companies that are super big, like giants. And the only way they can go forth with continuing to return and have earnings for the shareholders, for the bosses. If you are a shareholder, you are a boss. So for the bosses is by merging and acquiring with companies that with combined synergies, they can cut costs on the production side. They can, maybe avoid a few taxes here and there. Now, I'm not vouching for people that, or for companies that go out of the country and try to avoid taxes. I'm just saying that if you get with a company and they have a different accounting method which can save money, and the bosses are going to be happy, your shareholders, they're going to be happy, then by all means do that. In today's landscape, these super big companies need to get very creative with who they buy and what they buy, so they can continue to return those earnings. Well, to get those returns, improve the percentage on those returns, and get those earnings and improve those earnings to where the bosses are happy. Like I said, once again, that's all that matters. Being in the mecca of money, not making excuses, just making the dough. And with that, thanks once again for tuning in to another I Am Heavy Cash with your boy, Don Heavy. Check out the blog, man. Check out the hot heavy commentary on donheavy.com. And be sure to catch up with BMW, Black Market Watch, and Money Talks Across the Wire on Don Heavy's YouTube channel. See you money-hungry savages next week on another I Am Heavy Cash. I'm out.
This program is brought to you by Her Pretty Ghost and Better New Business. Thank you for tuning in.